Hello, and welcome to today's Ask Me Anything video. Okay, so I received a question: how to balance my ambition and my relationship with God. Can you help me with that? How to balance my ambition and my relationship with God. Hey, I'm Rosemary, Nonny, by the way. I am the prosperity minister. I support you in regaining your self-confidence, in leaving behind the pain, the limiting stories of the past, and this is definitely a limiting story, in rising victorious in your true design life. Okay, I even wrote a book about this, I have to say, Now, I believe completely that every single one of us gets to live free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched lives if we're willing to claim it. Now, one of those limiting stories that we can tell ourselves that will stop you from claiming it is the fact that God in some way has something against ambition. Really? Who told you that? Let's go straight to the point here, because I used to live with that particular story. I ever wrote a book called The Ambition Book because of this particular issue. Okay, the Deliberate Millionaire's Ambition Book. Go get it on Amazon. But seriously, this idea that somehow the divine who placed ideas, dreams, visions inside of you does not want you to use those dreams, visions, because it's too ambitious, is exactly why a heck of a lot of spiritual people are broke, are living beneath their potential, way beneath their potentials, whilst blaming God for not being able to live to their full potential. They don't call it that, though. They don't call it, I'm blaming God for it. No. I'm just waiting on the Lord. I'm waiting for the Lord to, tell me the right thing to do. And I don't want to be too proud. This is all they're saying. But actually what they're really saying is that it's God's fault that I am not living to my full potential because I'm telling myself a story that God doesn't want me to do this. No, honey, no, it's not true. You have that vision inside of you is your permission to go forward, but the divine God will not force your hand. If you continue telling yourself the story of my ambition is in some way evil, then you will continue to bear the fruit of believing that your ambition is evil. No. Desiring to live in the fullness of your potential is not wrong. There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting lots of money. Money is available. Yes, as long as you're willing to serve people with something useful, then what is the issue? What is the issue? I find this I find it frustrating, but at the same time, I know I lived this nonsense for a very long time myself. So I am empathetic, but I also want to shake that kind of idea loose from anybody that is carrying it. Your ambition is not a problem. I know some people would say that it is and try and tell you not to be so proud and just nonsense of a nonsense. Those people are probably going to go to the grave without ever living to the fullness of their potential, or they're lying to you and they are living to the fullness of their potential, but they have renamed ambition with some other word that makes it sound more holy, but actually it's just their ambition. It's like sometimes people compare themselves to spiritual teachers or pastors that build big churches or and you know what? It's ambition that builds a big church. Let's just be very, very clear about this. And it's not a bad thing, because a lot of people think that building a big church is a bad thing. It's like let's not even go there. But yes, people do crazy things. I'm not saying every single big church or big religious organization is a great grand. Well, you know what I'm saying? I am saying that most of them are great grand things, because the only reason why somebody can get big is because they're providing a service that people want. That's the only way. Even, I'm sorry, I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but even drug dealers, they get wealthy because they're providing a service that people want. That is how you create wealth. Provide a service, a product, something useful. It may not be useful, even, as I said, with drug dealers. I'm not saying that everybody needs to go and be a drug dealer. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is people get mixed up about what it means to be ambitious, as if it's a bad thing to want to bring good things into the world. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, if you are going to become a drug dealer, I would ask you to rethink your actions. But I would also say, listen, prosperity works for, as the Bible even says this, that the rain falls on the righteous and the unrighteous the same way. But certain people learn how to actually work with the way things work, whereas others keep saying, oh, I'm waiting on the Lord, and oh, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do what? Provide good service to people? That's what you don't want to do? But because you've bought into the rhetoric of the world, you've bought into the rhetoric of poor people on a pulpit, possibly, telling you nonsense, or people who have lived to the fullness of or are living in the fullness of their potential, but still haven't gotten rid of crazy ideas inside of them that are now infecting you, making you think that your ambition is a bad thing. Ambition to do what? Let's start there. Okay, yes, if you decide you had ambition to be a drug dealer, I would say, you know what, if you have the ability to be a drug dealer, you have the ability to create something more useful that would serve people positively. Okay? I remember when I was, some of my tenants, they were so gifted at figuring out how to play around the rules and get around paying their rent. And I kept thinking, if these people would just redirect their efforts, they could be so wealthy. But because they've bought into some lack-filled, nonsensical idea, all they're using their limitless wisdom for is to try and get away with stuff. Okay, I know that's not the person asking me this question, and I suppose in some ways I've gone off on a tangent, but how do you balance your ambition and your relationship with God? Stop seeing it as some kind of separate thing. I believe that everything we do needs to come out of that connection with the divine. So I know that in building this business and building this project 334K, where my vision is to serve 334,000 people and help them elevate, help them be empowered and step into the fullness of their potential. In building this thing, that's how I even got even closer to the divine, because you start to realize that when you're building something bigger than yourself, you need connection with the divine. But it also meant that I shared all of the nonsensical ideas surrounding the divine. That's the thing. Because I knew that I was called to do this thing, because I wanted to bring this vision to life, I had to strip away some of the nonsensical religious ideas that I'd picked up, so that I was able to actually go full pelt after the vision that was on my heart. And you may find that that might happen, but it doesn't take away your relationship with God. It may take away your relationship with your religious organization. I'm not going to lie about that. It definitely did for me. And I don't see that as a bad thing. Now, you may choose to see that as a bad thing because you think whatever you think. I know what I used to think, so I know there's lots of people who can think certain things. And a few years ago, I probably would have agreed with you. Actually, not really, because even then I had questions. So maybe more like 15 years ago, I might have agreed that, oh no, my religious organization is the same as my relationship with God. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You will find so much more freedom. I'm not saying you need to, no. I'm not saying everybody needs to dump religion, no. But you need to recognize that your relationship with the divine is not dependent on whether you show up in a religious organization or not. It isn't, regardless of what you've been told and taught. So really, when you ask me this question of balancing ambition and relationship with God, really what you're saying, it has nothing to do with God. God isn't stopping you from living to the fullness of your potential. That potential was placed inside of you to live it out, not to hold back, telling yourself that it's because of God. It's not because of God. It's usually because of religion or what some person you're trying to appease has told you, that if you pursue these particular goals on your heart, that you're now going to become greedy and you're selfish and you're this and that and the other. According to who? Wake up, peeps. Wake up. If you are suffering with this whole and holding yourself back because you're worried about being perceived as selfish and greedy, understand this. The only way you can be truly prosperous, if you're talking about finances, is if you serve people. What is wrong with serving people? What is wrong with serving people with the vision inside of your heart? What is wrong with that? If that is ambition, give it to me every freaking day. And it is ambition. So yes, I enjoy being a very ambitious lady, and I enjoy being intimately close to God. At the same time, asking for advice, asking for guidance, being directed by that voice within me, that God's voice within me telling me which way to go, because I no longer believe, oh, he wouldn't talk to me about business. Of course he does. You will find that if you can get rid of this concept or idea that God in some way has something against ambition, that actually you will be so much freer, and you will be able to hear the divine even better, because you're no longer having that belief inside of you that says, God doesn't want me to be ambitious. God doesn't want me to pursue my vision. He's going to think I'm greedy, or he wants me to give it all away for free. And if I think about it, that I can maybe make some money from the thing that I have to do, then he's going to not want to talk to me. And that is you telling yourself that. And so even if the divine is trying to speak to you, you can't hear, because you don't believe it is possible for the divine to be happy with you going after your vision. Wake up. Wake up. Embrace your ambition. Embrace the divine. Go forward together. That is the quickest way forward. It is the quickest way forward. And yes, you're going to come up with all kinds of other different ideas that will come into mind about why, oh, but what of my family? And supposing I start doing this? And honey, you need to trust yourself to know that you're not going to do anything horrible. You're a good-hearted, spiritual person who desires God, and you desire to live to the fullness of your potential. Those things are not mutually exclusive. They work best together. Allow it to. Okay? Honeys, come into the Deliberate Millionaires Incubator, because right now you're all immersed in ideas that do not support your ability to thrive and prosper. As I said at the beginning, your divine right is freedom, fulfillment, financial abundance. It is a love-drenched life if you will claim it. But whilst you're continually immersed in an environment that tells you that you shouldn't be ambitious, or that or whatever the story you have is, and it's because of the environment that you're in. And most of the time, most people don't even know how draining their environment is, because everybody around you lives exactly the same way. Come into the Deliberate Millionaires Incubator. Come and open your mind to higher concepts that enable you to see more opportunities for growth, that enable you to have more of an impact on the planet, because more of a positive impact on the planet, because you're no longer stifled by ideas that the masses have bought into that keep most people down. Be done with that. It's time to wake up, to be all you are born to be. Come into the Deliberate Millionaires Incubator. Come and do life with me. Come and ask these questions, and I can be even more specific to your specific situation within the group, because I seek to personally support as many people as are willing to come in and get the support that is required. Come to the Empower Experiences. Come and immerse yourself in the Abundance Library. Come and connect with other people who are forward thinking, rather than just the people around you right now who are keeping you freaking down. It's time to wake up. Be that driven spiritual person, not that, oh, I'm just waiting on the Lord forever. Person that, come on. Let's not be wishy-washy spiritual people. Be a deliberate millionaire, driven, determined spiritual person who is here to make a difference. Come into the Deliberate Millionaire Incubator. There'll be a link around this video. There's this absolutely amazing offer available to you. Come and take advantage of it right now. Much amazing love. And share this video with somebody else that needs to hear this stuff. There ain't nothing wrong with ambition. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with it. Enjoy. Enjoy all that you are. Okay? Okay. Much amazing love. Oh, there's so much more I could say about this topic, but I'll just stop here for now. Okay. Much amazing love. Bye. Share this video with someone else, okay?